Hi everyone, and welcome to Wednesday's show. One of the last few programs left in the month of September. But that, of course, like pretty much most anything else, has not been on the minds of anyone today. At the forefront, of course, Hurricane Ian, the Floridian population, which is just in the crosshairs of a monster historic storm. I have found myself consumed, as I'm sure many of you have today as well, by the coverage, trying to keep up with what's going on, the intensity at which this storm is affecting so many, some McGoffin Countyans, of course, included in that, to the point to where, honestly, turning from the computer screens and the monitors and the TVs and then to my monitor, which shows the outside of here, I felt as though it should have been raining, because that was just what I had been seeing so much of. It's unfathomable to the extent of what they're seeing. I do have some videos to share with you tonight. We have, of course, a number of local folks who now reside in parts of Florida who are there just on a visiting basis and the like. And I spoke with a couple today who are no longer reachable at this time, but we think are safe, as what has turned out to be a historic storm again. And by comparison, it will rank among some of the worst in the history of Florida. Right around 3 o'clock this afternoon, Ian made landfall. Technically, a Category 4 at 150 mile per hour winds. 155 makes it a Cat 5, so take that for what that's worth. 150 mile an hour winds, 4 hours. Ian is making its way across Florida at a mere 9 miles an hour, which means it could take up to 36 to 40 hours to make its way across the state, which means devastation for most everywhere that it will pass over. 24 inches and then some of rain. Images like these from some storm chasers and others, Mr. Reed Timmer. There's a Lonnie Architects building that I'll have some footage from in just a few seconds in Fort Myers. Another storm chaser, Ben Lacombe, I believe it is, who was in Punta Gorda. All these images are the same, just devastating and hard to imagine the force and the devastation. We know that it was around 3 o'clock, as I said, southwestern Florida near Cayo Costa. Winds up to 150 miles per hour, at times sustained well over 100. And they're already making comparisons to previous storms, and this one is just getting going. This will be the fourth, without a doubt, the fourth strongest hurricane to hit Florida in the history of storms, or record keeping, I should say. One comparison has been made to Hurricane Charlie, an image, a very interesting image that was sent to me today, actually from a McGoffin Countyan who resides in Florida, who is toughing it out and hunkering down at this hour, who we wish the best to. Many McGoffin Countyans actually now living in Florida, some which have evacuated, some decided to wait out the storm, some in the farther outskirts of the storm's reach, some not so much. A lot of Floridians decided to hunker down and wait for the storm to pass. But again, it's passing much, much slower than any previous storm. Speaking of previous storms, that is a depiction of Charlie there, Hurricane Charlie back in 2004, within the eye. All that blue is the eye, the dead spot, if you will, so to speak, of Hurricane Ian. And Hurricane Charlie was a Category 4 back in 1997, and it was the most powerful storm to hit Florida since Andrew in 92. And it fits in the eye of Ian, and even a Category 4 and knocking on the door of a Category 5, and may open that door before it's all said and done. 1 million people without power. Above the nation, if you will, from the International Space Station. Just a quick glimpse in closing. The monstrosity of this storm captured as the space station passed over. I think this was right around 3 o'clock, which would have been right around the time that Ian was making landfall from space. It's just too massive to even see where the land begins and where it ends, but there you go. I'll have local headlines in just a few moments. It's Dipper Day tomorrow at your Sayersville Lee's Famous Recipe. Yes, you can get our famous all-white big chunks of crispy chicken any day of the week as a snack, a meal, or as a party box. But on Thursday, Dipper Day, you get the meal that's dippers with 2 homemade sides and a biscuit for just $6.79. Only at your Sayersville Lee's. Also famous for our ice. Just as quick as one arrives, it feels like the next is already about to begin, and Conley Tire doesn't want you to start any of the driving seasons unprepared. Be safe and sound and get there with the best offers on the best tires by the best manufacturers, all with service you've grown to trust. Go to conleytire.net or stop by in Staffordsville to find out more, or give them a call at 297-2424. The reassurance of getting your medications and over-the-counter needs at Sayersville's oldest and most trusted pharmacy. The convenience of curbside pickup and call-ahead service. And the fact that you can walk in, order to go, or sit down and get gourmet quality hot fudge brownies, nachos, shakes, coffees, hot dogs with homemade sauce, desserts, and more makes it more than your hometown Good Neighbor Pharmacy. It's a destination in downtown Sayersville, Frazier's Prater Drugstore. It doesn't get any sweeter than that. Parkway Pharmacy, as always, promises the quickest service with the very best care and prices, and to always have someone there to talk to when you have a question, with 3 pharmacists, curbside, drive-through, and call-ahead service. Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville, 349-4400.
Where you can always talk to a pharmacist when you need one.
Stop in at Prohibition today. We have hot coffee, iced coffees, frappuccinos. If you're not a fan of coffee, we have non-coffee beverages like Freshies or Red Bull Kickers. Stop in today for a pup cup, whipped cream and dog treats designed specifically for your pup to make their tails wag. Try our delicious donuts from Gracefully Made Donuts, cheesecake and brownies from our local cheesecake lady, and an assortment of other delicious pastries from Rutabaker's Bakery in Moorhead. Stop in or drive through. We're open till 8 p.m. every day, located on the Parkway next to Appalachian Smoke.
Car wrecks, truck wreck, disability, workers' comp, slip and fall, wrongful death. Your case matters to you. Your case matters to us. Contact McFarland Tinker Law Office. With our combined experience of over 58 years, we're here ready to work for you.
Banking from home or on the go has never been easier and will forever be an important and necessary part of life. And Sayersville National has been and will always be at the forefront of meeting and exceeding your financial needs and giving you the safest and most worry-free online and mobile banking so you can worry about the important things, like what's for dinner. They're there when you need them at the main and branch locations of the Sayersville National Bank. Number of local headlines this evening. To be honest, I had 2 people in the office calling sick, one of them with a camera with a few of tonight's intended stories thereon, so we'll work in some other news and information and have some cancellations pertaining to the weather, which is cranking up to be a little more wet. It looks as though this weekend due to the remnants of Hurricane Ian, which will be here by then. So some cancellations and a few other stories and more before I leave you tonight. First, however, there was a fatal accident involving a school bus that took place in Pike County earlier this week. We knew of the accident that happened Monday. Very few details at that time, but it has since been confirmed that a 32-year-old Pike County man, now identified as Wes Childers, was driving a school bus. He was the only person on board at the time. He was on Elkhorn Creek. It's believed that he was the one that actually crossed into the opposite direction of travel, hitting another vehicle, if you will, a delivery truck, another commercial type vehicle that was being operated by an Anthony Kirk, 26, of Williamson, West Virginia. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A couple of indictments coming out of Johnson County tonight, actually more than a couple, I do believe, indicted on federal charges as federal investigations continue to go on in Johnson County, this time resulting in the arrest of 30-year-old Aaron Welch and 36-year-old Samantha Daniels. That's 36-year-old Samantha Webb Daniels of Thialca. She and 30-year-old Aaron Welch of Van Leer, again, the most recent in number of federal indictments on drug-related charges coming out of federal court related to the distribution of large amounts of methamphetamine. Placed a call into Johnson County authorities a few moments ago to get some more about this particular case and the others that it is tied to. We'll have some more information on that later. I actually have a couple of other, at least one more, if not two more, federal indictments, I believe, related to some Johnson County cases to speak of here in the coming days. In this case, as is customary, simply saying over 500 grams of meth, which is a common charge used when pounds of methamphetamine are being brought into the Johnson County area and distributed in these cases. Up to 10 years to life in prison as a result is what Welch and Daniels face. And as I told you on last evening, we were awaiting details which we received shortly after I left you in regards to the sentencing of the former Lawrence County attorney who was accused and indicted of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from county funds in his office, using them as well as his wife for their own personal benefit. He found himself sentenced last night after several delays. The former Lawrence County attorney, Michael Hogan, and his wife and former legal secretary, Joy, were sentenced to 42 months for himself, 12 months for her, and a day. This happening yesterday evening in front of U.S. District Judge Gregory Van Tatenhoff for wire fraud, while Michael Hogan was also sentenced for federal program theft. According to their plea agreements, they admitted to conspiring with each other to commit wire fraud by writing checks from a second delinquent tax account for the Lawrence County Attorney's Office, the statements for which went to their personal residence, with Michael and Joy Hogan routinely preparing bonus checks that were issued to the wife and signed by him, paid with delinquent tax funds that should have been used on operating expenses for the county attorney's office. They then deposited those checks into her personal account, their joint account, and then spent it for personal reasons. He admitted that he personally benefited from those payments and knew that some of them were not reasonable in amount, nor beneficial to the public and just themselves. According to the indictment, over the course of March of 2013 through April of 2020, he paid his wife more than $365,000 from the Lawrence County delinquent tax account alone. And he also admitted to defrauding the Lawrence County Child Support Enforcement Office, part of the Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Family Services, when he billed the program for more hours than he was actually working. As part of his plea agreement, he has agreed to resign as the Lawrence County attorney after they both pled guilty back in March of this year. It is a federal case. Under federal law, they must serve 85% of their prison sentence. Again, 42 months for him, 12 months for her. They must then as well be under the supervision of probation and parole for a period of 3 years. Of course, something always happening pretty much on tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. But first, just to let this be known, there's a free, I want to stress that, hunter education class coming up next week. I spoke with my friend and neighbor Wendell Hoskins earlier today. Next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at the Sayersville Fire Department from 6 to 9, they are having a hunter education class. On Friday, they will complete a review test, then go to Wilmay to the shooting range to complete the range portion. You will be responsible for your own transportation. Following the test, the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife will supply all class material to include guns, ammo, and safety equipment. Attendance on all 3 days is required. Please don't register if you can't attend all 3 because the class size is limited. You must pre-register at fw.ky.gov. That's FW for Fish and Wildlife. .ky.gov. The direct link to register is a lot longer, so just go there and you will be able to navigate it, I promise, very, very easily. If you have any questions, contact Wendell, 349-2018, or John Sharp at 349-7130. That's next week, so get on that if you want to try to get into class. Again, class size is limited. It's unlimited on the community calendar, as many announcements as we can get, and sometimes that's a lot, but we like that. We like everyone using the calendar and everyone knowing what's going on. Here are a few reminders on tonight's. First, very importantly tonight, in case you didn't get the call that was sent out earlier today from McGoffin County 911, there's going to be some outages going on later on tonight if you have any services from Foothills. It's my understanding is that they're switching essentially all the lines over from their old building, which sits just exactly behind mine here on Coal Branch, to the newly constructed one, which they've been working on now for quite some time. And after that switchover has been made, all these connections will be done and over with. In doing so, you may have already seen a few problems in the Sagersville area, I know as I have, but each time that those changes are taking place, then it's kind of a one-time thing. Tonight, from midnight to about 5:30 in the morning, any or all of their services could be affected. Everything from Berlin Patrick Road on 460, 460 up Highway 2019 to Caudle Branch, everything from 460 up Highway 30 to 2972, I'm not sure where exactly that is, and also all the small areas or chutes off of 460 all the way to Berlin Patrick Road, Route 7 all the way up to the mailing address of 4530, and then Route 7 up Lakeville Road, from Sagersville all the way up 114 to the Floyd County address of 4015 on the East Mountain Parkway, Highway 460 to Burning Fork, Highway 460 New Paintsville Road to just past Rock House. So this is largely, of course, scheduled for the overnight, so it won't affect too many of you. It will affect landline phones for a lot of folks, which means you won't be able to dial 911 from some of them during this time frame, so keep that in mind as well. But it's all due to the switchover, I believe, and it's all, I think, wrapping up with this scheduled maintenance during the course of the overnight. From there, a couple of reminders. This coming Monday, the next McGoffin County Community Blood Drive at the Sayersville First Baptist Church. You've still got time to call and get an appointment. Walk-ins are welcomed as well. 800-775-2522, 1 to 5 at the church. The educational baby shower for next week, next Thursday, is still on at the McGoffin County Health Department for all pregnant moms, any who are new moms up to 2 months. Please register and get a free gift card, 349-6212. I've got a couple of cancellations for this weekend coming up, this weekend, but not on tonight's calendar. I'll have those for you in just a few moments. The Sagersville Oktoberfest starts October the 7th, not this Friday night, but the next, with Hocus Pocus in the Park. Then the 10th, that's Monday, the following Monday, the 5K Pumpkin Run that evening. And then, of course, the Spooktacular event in the Sagersville City Park the Thursday before Halloween, Trick or Treat. It is set for Monday the 31st. That is city and county wide. And I'll remind you about those a little bit closer there at the end whenever they get a little bit closer, I guess I should say. Going on. Flu shots for our veterans at the Lloydham Hall Community Center at the DAV meeting set for next Thursday, 5 to 7. In the Henry Joseph edition in the back, the Prestonsburg VA giving flu shots to our veterans. If you have any questions, call them at 349-2299. It's next Thursday. And also in the calendar tonight, another reminder, Sagersville High School's class of 75 celebrating Saturday, October the 8th, 7 to 11 at the Ramada Inn. Get up with classmates Diane Conley, Stacy Robinette, social media, or however you can to find out more. Let them know you're coming. And I'll remind you about this one when it gets a bit closer to, and probably go ahead and take it off the calendar for now, but we wanted to make sure to mention that in a few weeks, the 4th annual Walnut Festival will be underway right here in McGoffin County at Royalton at the Half Mountain Park, October the 15th, Saturday. They'll start off at 11 in that morning, wrap it up around 8 or a little after maybe. Don Rigsby, Black Powder Express, the Evans Brothers, Petting Zoo, the face painting, the car show, all the vendors, they'll all be there, and they hope you are too. If you want to be a product vendor, call Janice at 884-2031. If you want to be a food vendor, call Marlene at 496-7328. And if you want to be on the community calendar, well, call me, or Facebook, phone, fax, drop it off, call Heather, whatever you can do. I will be glad to tell everyone what you have planned. And, of course, that includes birthdays and anniversaries as well. From there, we'll go on to local obituaries tonight, and beginning with a reminder that services start tomorrow at 1 for 85-year-old Jeanette Merle Minix of Oakley, who passed away on Sunday at the, again, age of 85, survived by her sons Robin Ned and Gregory Minix, daughter Tamara Howard, and 2 grandchildren, preceded in death by her husband Robinson. Visitation this evening at the McGoffin County Funeral Home, and services again tomorrow from the same location. And services are pending at this hour for 25-year-old Jonathan Tyler West of Sagersville. He passed away on Monday in Dallas, Texas, while working away. Arrangements being complete at this time, but to be announced soon by the McGoffin County Funeral Home.
I'm Kelly Collins.
And I'm Taylor Shepard.
And we are with the Golden Law Office. We both began our legal careers in Lexington, representing the nation's largest insurance companies. This experience provided us with inside knowledge as to how the insurance company will defend your case.
We are now taking that knowledge and returning to our hometown in Eastern Kentucky.
As a partner at Golden Law Office, we are returning home to continue to help those hurt through no fault of their own. If you or a family member have been injured in an auto or truck accident, call Golden Law Office today.
In all honesty, it has taken me since I was appointed mayor after Stanley Hurd suddenly resigned 11 years ago for the city's finances and operations to recover. There was literally $13,000 in the bank when it took $100,000 a month to operate. The waterworks was almost $300,000 in debt, and the power company was actually in the process of cutting off the electricity to the plant. Since then, we have a full-time police force, and they and our fire department have the vehicles and equipment they need to protect our families. I'm very proud of the job I've done, of how our city looks, our streets, our city park and buildings. And I know that every single cent during my administration has been accounted for and invested into Sayersville. And with a sincere gratitude for your support and help, I humbly ask you to re-elect me, James Pete Shepard, as your mayor. Thank you.
With the power to bring us together even when we're far apart, we keep families connected. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
Hello, my fellow McGoffin Countyans. As we get closer to the November election, I would like for you to consider something. We have seen a drastic increase in meth, heroin, and fentanyl over the last 8 years. The direct result has been the loss of loved ones to overdose deaths, children being placed in foster care, and an increase in crime such as burglaries and thefts. Now we are seeing a trend to rainbow-colored fentanyl pills that resembles candies such as Smarties, Skittles, and M&Ms. It's obvious that this is a way for drug dealers to target our children, and that's unacceptable. Folks, we've got to have a change. We have to take our county back. With nearly 34 years of experience and training, I am the only qualified candidate for sheriff. I'm William Bill Meade, Republican candidate for McGoffin County Sheriff. Thank you, and God bless.
It was true last week, true this week, it'll be true next week. There's always new arrivals, and now they're for fall at the seasonal shop. They've got new fall shorts and more coming in soon, but they're already fully stocked on cello jeans and cutoffs, and they're now carrying Hornet football, hats, tees, and sweatshirts just in time for the season, and all proceeds go to the McGoffin County Quarterback Club, plus new Ridge and Holler designs, some that need no explanation, and a complete new line of fall baby clothes. And remember, they have baby and wedding registry. They also have a new line by Capri Blue where fashion meets fragrance. Amazingly pleasing scents across a line of candles, diffusers, soaps, lotions, and perfumes for home, car, and the bath. And do yourself a favor and don't even think about looking anywhere else for fall decorations inside and out before you stop by Fraser's Prater Drugs Seasonal Shop. Before we get to the weather forecast, the weather is canceling a few events for this weekend coming up here in Sagersville and McGoffin County. This Saturday was to be a big evening over at the Sagersville City Park, as we've been telling you about here, and in the Independent, the Hometown Hero Award, an award given in honor of Captain Carter Conley. But this first one to go to, of course, designee Terry Miller, and it was going to be Terry Miller's Hometown Jam. I love the title. Zoe Howard. Wonderful night of music was to be Saturday, but with the following forecast that's becoming increasingly more likely to be wet, they have canceled that. And the reality is that was the only weekend they could even make that happen this year, so they're going to have to put it off to sometime in the spring. Also being canceled but rescheduled, the Democratic Executive Committee was having a luncheon this Saturday, and it will be at the Ramey Park. It was to be at 11 to 3. It has been canceled. I think it's also might be the City Park. I'll clarify which park next week because it's been reset for October the 8th from 10 till 2. So I'll get to that and clarify that for you a little later on. Bottom line is the Democratic Executive Committee luncheon set for this Saturday has been postponed until the 8th. And maybe some other things postponed. Let's take a look at your local 7-day brought to you by Licking Valley RACC. Well, here's the loop of Ian just a few moments ago. You can see where the eye was real time right now as you're watching this. This was close to 45 minutes ago. I captured it just before I sat down to start producing the show. But, I mean, as it's moving 9 miles an hour, it has not changed that dramatically. You can see where it made landfall just to the north of Fort Myers. The eye there you can see as it has continued to consume much of Florida. Again, our thoughts and prayers for everyone, and of course that most certainly includes all of our fellow McGoffin Countyans who are affected in any form or way, and some of them right in the way. With that said, your 7-day doesn't look all that bad, but shower chances have increased for us because we are expecting Ian to make its way across Florida, up the coast, and then back onto land, and then the remnants thereof make their way possibly into eastern Kentucky, giving us some more shower chances than right now than we initially thought. I don't think it was initially thought that Ian would be or grow to the extent that it has. Regardless, partly cloudy tonight, a low of 40 degrees. We'll see northwesterly winds about 6 miles per hour. Tomorrow, 67 for your daytime high. Becoming sunny, cloudy at the onset, but skies will slowly give way to some sunshine. Another slightly breezy day, northeasterly winds anywhere from 5 to 15 miles per hour. Pretty much the same thing for Friday, a couple of degrees warmer, around 69 degrees, mostly sunny, and a little breeze going again from the northeast, again up to about 15 miles per hour or so. Nighttime lows not quite as chilly. We'll knock the chill off just a bit. Friday night's low of around 50 right now. It looks to be pretty much on the mark. And then for Saturday, 62, 52, mostly cloudy, and a 50% chance of showers and storms, and a 50% chance of showers right now on your Sunday, and we know what that's a product thereof. And by this time tomorrow, of course, and then Friday, we'll know a little more as to what we may stand to see as Ian continues to turn into this, ultimately, this direction to some degree. 63 again on your Sunday, 64 Monday, partly sunny, 30% chance of showers. Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll see temperatures climb. 66 on your Tuesday, mostly sunny, a 20% chance of showers. Shower chances should be out of here by Wednesday, and the 70s look to make a return. And that'll do it for this evening. Thank you for being a part of the show. Hope to see you back here tomorrow night for the next one.